And welcome back. I'm Dylan Black. Her name is Allison Semmes, and well, we could also call her Diana Ross. She's Diana Ross for a limited time here in Ottawa, as Motown the Musical is at the National Arts Centre. It opened up last night. Right now, let's say hello to Allison. How are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Wonderful to see you.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here. How was night number one at the AC?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
You know, we really weren't expecting such a warm, loud welcome. So it felt very great to be here.
Well, that's how we do it in Canada.
Yeah.
Have you been to Canada before to perform?
I have actually.
Okay.
Actually, last year the tour was in Toronto for a month, so that was my first time being in Canada, and it was great.
So you are originally from Chicago. Mm-hmm. Okay, now I don't even understand all the letters that, behind your name. Like, it seems like you have all kinds of credentials here. What does BM stand for?
Bachelor's of Music.
In opera. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty impressive. Not many people have a Bachelor of Music in opera.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very classically based. I started singing in the Chicago Children's Choir, and that gave me a classical understanding, and then I just kept going with that.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Congratulations. And you, so the Book of Mormon, Color Purple, Dreamgirls. Is there any musical or production that you haven't been in at this point?
It
seems like
think so.
It would take me a while to actually read off all the things you've done, including an award nomination, NAACP Theater Award.
Yes.
For this role, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. That was such a great honor to be nominated and just acknowledged for the work. Yeah.
So 3 years you've been playing Diana Ross?
Yes, 3 years, since 2014. And actually, I was on the Broadway production as Florence Ballard, which is she's one of the Supremes, and I also played Diana Ross's understudy. So I was Diana Ross's understudy first, and then for the tour, I bumped up to playing the role.
Impressive. What was the transition like? Was it difficult to all of a sudden be Diana Ross on the stage?
Not at all, because that was my intention, my dream. You know, when I first saw the show, I was just enthralled by, you know, her character, the role of her, and telling her story, and her gowns, her music, everything.
How many gowns do you wear throughout the course of the
production? Oh my
production?
goodness, we have maybe 5 or 6, and it goes through so many decades. It starts from the 40s, and it goes, actually the 20s and 30s, and it goes all the way through the 80s. So we have a nice history of fashion, of music, social, everything.
So run us down then, what is Motown the Musical all about? It sounds pretty self-explanatory, but the story is about a certain person in particular.
Berry Gordy.
Of course.
Berry Gordy Jr. And he is the founder of Motown. So we get a chance to meet this young man in Detroit. He's 29 years old, and he has a dream of creating something that's like a car factory, where you have a bare metal frame come in one door and come out a sparkling new car. He wanted to do that with artists. So with $800, a loan that his family gave him, he started Motown the Motown, the record company. And so this was kind of like a factory, in a sense, for raw young artists to come into this place and come out stars. So we see that whole journey of, you know, how Motown began, and we hear all of the music and the relationship between him and Diana Ross, and everything is in there.
So it basically tells the story of Motown.
Absolutely.
Simple as that. Tell us about just some of the other artists that are featured in this production.
Yes, well, we also have Marvin Gaye, Smokey Robinson, the Jackson 5, Martha and the Vandellas, the Fourth Hops, the Temptations, Jackson 5, did I mention?
Yeah, you may have, but that's okay. There's a lot of them, I get that. And that's impressive. So you, as an actress, to play Diana Ross, I mean, was it difficult to get into her character?
Yes and no. Our creatives gave us the freedom to really just find our truth in these characters. They didn't want impersonations or imitations. They wanted us to just capture the essence of these people, because they're real living people. So that really relieved a lot of the pressure for me. I watched a lot of, I like to call it YouTube University. And I watched so much footage of Diana Ross and the Supremes when she was young, all the way to when she's performing now, and just studied her movements and her songs and her sound, and from that came my
your
impression.
version of it, your rendition, I guess you'd call it.
Absolutely.
How many classic hits do we hear throughout the whole production?
Over 60.
Over 60, which is incredible. Have you ever had a chance to perform this in front of Diana Ross?
No, I haven't. I've never met her, and I was heartbroken for a long time about that. But I think, everything happens for a reason, and part of me is glad that I can keep the mystique of her.
Yeah. But would that be something you'd like to do, or would that be like terrifying?
A little bit of both, actually. I really have so many questions for her, because just playing her for 3 years it can be so challenging, and that was her living her life. I want to know how she went through it.
And you want to do it justice, of course.
Absolutely.
Of all her discography, her songs, which one is the most fun for you to perform?
I would say Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Hand. That's one of my favorites, because that's the one time where I can break the fourth wall and really connect with the people, connect with the audience. I have volunteers come up and sing, so it's new every night. Who knows who's going to come up?
You have volunteers come out of the audience and come up on stage too?
Yes. Well, they don't come on stage, but I join them in the audience.
You join them?
Yes.
That's interactive.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
And then at the end of the song, everyone joins hands and sways them and sings together. It's so beautiful.
That is super beautiful. I know you wanted me to sing on air here, but we're all out of time. So, no.
Oh, I missed it.
Name one. I'll give you 5 seconds.
Name one.
Diana Ross song.
I'm Coming Out.
I'm coming out.
Hey.
I want the world to know. Is that it?
Yes. All right, pipes.
See, the professionals do it. Including Allison Semmes as Diana Ross, Motown the Musical, running until the 30th at the National Arts Centre. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
What a pleasure. BroadwayCrossCanada.ca for more details. Ottawa Asian Fest is coming. We got some details next on Daytime.